I welded 2 city buses together and buried them on my farm. I built the insides of them to look like an alien spaceship. Used a lot of KY jelly and fiberglass, etc. Every so often, I go into town and drug someone up at the bar, and if I can get them to leave alone before they pass out, I take them down to my spaceship where I strap them down and dress up as an alien and do all sorts of weird shit. Then I drug them up again and I leave them in a field outside the town. I'm also female. Be a recruiter for mid-sized company. Have to review applicants' resumes whenever we have an opening. Company has an opening for an entry-level software developer position. This type of position always seems to bring in the absolute worst resumes for some reason. One guy's resume has the entire job history portion empty, except for listing his current job as cryptocurrency trading expert, self-employed. One guy who dropped out of high school, and whose sole job experience is 2 months of Burger King in 2019, wrote proficient internet user in the skills and qualifications section. One guy's job history is filled with nothing but the Discord servers he moderated. He listed each one individually, as if they were separate jobs. Some old guy with a decade of experience as a welder says he's a qualified software engineer because he knows a thing or two about computers. One guy listed his 3,700 hours in Team Fortress 2 as a certification. There was a resume that had only a single line of text that said, "I am a good person." One resume was just a printed out picture of Patrick Bateman. 6 years ago. Went to high school with this girl. Let's call her Amy. Wanted to date her at first, but she ended up being a pretty good friend. Those mental illnesses would have been a nightmare to deal with as a partner. Bonded over playing Doki Doki together. Always joked that Amy is Sayori. She had the craziest form of self-harm. She would just let bees and wasps sting her, going out of her way to provoke them. Things escalated over time. Amy tried to take her own life before graduation. It failed, thankfully. I wanted to be there for her, but I was off to college and she was doing her thing. She went dark for many years. I assumed the worst, and I couldn't get word from her family. Fast forward to a couple of weeks ago. Moved back to my home city after college. Bought a small house. There's a hornet's nest in the garage. Hire an exterminator. Jaw hits the floor when I see Amy get out of the van. We catch up. She got into pest control and turned her self-harm into something productive. Got out of her shitty home situation and doesn't want to take her life anymore. Can't put into words how happy it made me seeing her alive and well like that. Hang in there, Nons. She cheated. Hank, I knew about Nancy and John Redcorn. I knew about them the day Joseph was born. But every day since he was born, I've been taking my revenge. That boy, he loves me, Hank. He loves me. John Redcorn will never get that. He'll never hear his boy tell him that. Joseph will go to his grave loving me, and never so much as looking in Redcorn's direction. His children, his grandchildren, they'll love me too, Hank. They'll never even know Redcorn existed. That's revenge, Hank. Just like when the former Soviet Union resurrected Lenin to cause a housing crisis in America as revenge. I live in a big city, but I've invented a method I call urban foraging. Basically, I hunt and find 90% or more of my food. For example, the geese by the lakes in town are ridiculously easy prey. For some reason, this man coming at them with a bat doesn't trigger any survival instinct within them. Yet. You can also find berries in the spring and summer, but some will give you diarrhea. Obviously, people's gardens are fair game too. I'm a pharmacist. I make 140k a year, but I'm saving so much money by not having to pay for food. It's incredible, and I get back to my primal roots. Anyway, I hope this helps. No, you can't just Google the female sex offenders in your area and message them on Facebook because you think they're easy. That's like a total violation of human rights and privacy, dude. Yeah, for sure. R/confessions. My boyfriend called me the hard R. Me and my boyfriend have been together for almost 3 years. Our relationship has been very healthy up until this comment. I always thought that I wouldn't even hesitate to say yes if he asked me to marry him. We have arguments, but they've never been anything too serious. Last night, he really blew up at me because I accidentally put a dent in his truck while pulling out of the parking lot, and he ended up calling me the hard R. I'm a black female and he's white. He has never said anything racist before, and has apologized already, but I'm very hurt, and I honestly can't stop crying. He told me that school/work is stressing him out, and he took it out on me. That moment, because the dent in his truck was just the cherry on top of everything that's been happening to him. I know he's truthfully sorry, but he keeps on repeating it, and He keeps giving me an excessive amount of affection. I don't know if this is something I can just get over easily. I love him so much. That's really fun. I live in a shared apartment. It has 4 rooms and 2 bathrooms, and I live in the second bathroom. It's a bit smaller, but I have everything I need in here. Toilet, shower, fridge. On the other side of the pic, I have a little garden table made out of plastic with my laptop on it, besides a little cabinet with my clothes. I rarely leave it because I don't get along well with other people. Am I the asshole for telling a woman to leave if she didn't want to have sex? I've been hanging out with this girl, 28 female, for a few weeks now. We met at a club after a friend of mine introduced her to me. After our first night together, we talked about what our arrangement was going to be. I got out of a 5-year relationship not too long ago, and she recently got divorced. Neither of us is looking for anything serious. We decided to meet only for sex and keep it strictly to that, no strings attached. We've met up around twice a week for sex, and that's it. I came back home from a business event at around 9 p.m. a few days ago, and I texted her to come over. She came over, and we talked for a little bit, and I went in to kiss her, and she moved away. I made a few advances, and she rejected all of them. I asked her, what's wrong? She said that I only hit her up when I wanted sex. I said, yeah, that's exactly what we had agreed on. We literally had a conversation saying that we will only see each other for sex, and we both agreed that this was the best thing. She said how she wanted to be more to me than just a hole to put my dick in, and wanted to have a conversation. We talked for a bit about life, and it was just awkward at that point. It was getting late, so after talking for about a half an hour, I asked if sex was on the table at all, and she said no. I asked her to leave if she didn't want to do anything. She kept calling me an asshole for it, until eventually she left. I don't see how I can be the asshole here. She knew what it was. If she wanted something more, or got attached, she should have just called me and said something without coming over to my apartment at night. Thank you for watching. Please be sure to do all those YouTube things, like, subscribe, comment your favorite part down below. I appreciate it, and I hope you have a good day.